But I'd like to focus my remarks actually on home care, domiciliary care workers, because if we accept that there's a parity of esteem between, we want parity of esteem between social care workers and NHS workers, and there's a conflict there, then that same parity of esteem needs to be delivered between care workers who work in care homes and those who help people in their own home. And I've heard many personal stories, both good and bad, as a member of the Health and Social Care Select Committee and through my work as the constituency MP for Peterborough. I remember talking to Richard, who told me that he felt his work, calling it work, was almost like cheating, because he spent lots of his time talking to friends and the people he cared for. And Mel told me that she would always recommend social care as a career, despite some of the challenges that she has. But too often, we hear bad stories about experiences from staff who work in domiciliary care. People, they were being tutted at for wearing their uniform out in public, and that lack of understanding that domiciliary care workers wear their uniforms as they travel between clients' homes. And understanding is key to all of this, Mr. Deputy Speaker, because lots of people still call this work low-skill work, not understanding that working in domiciliary care, you're administering medicines and doing other complex tasks. You need to be a real people's person to be a domiciliary care worker, and these people are often hidden heroes in our own communities. I remember my father, who died relatively recently, and he was a strong and independent man, and it was those domiciliary care workers that cleaned him, that dressed him, that gave him back, you know, his dignity. And my mother and I can never say thank you enough for that. Home care is the biggest part of the social care sector, and it employs hundreds of thousands of people. And I would just like to perhaps just put three questions in the remaining time that I've got. We talk a lot about valuing our social care staff and this parity of esteem, but what can we actually do to try and resolve that problem we have between the value between NHS and social care workers? What can we do in concrete? Is paying for social care by local authorities for activity, is that the right way to do, or can we do better by looking at outcomes? And just finally, can we look to integrate our NHS and social care workforce like they've done in Denmark?